John is in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, John. Welcome to the Entree Podcast. What's up?
How you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Man, it's kind of a long question. My main question is I feel stuck in my father's business. I'm 23 years old. We got 7 team members, including myself, and me and my wife about a year ago just opened up our own small business. Can I kind of tell you the backstory and you shed some guidance on, moving forward?
Sure.
So, like I said, it's kind of a long story, but anyways, I've been working for my father for 2 to 3 years now. The biggest thing with it is part of my pay depends on how the store performs, even though I have no say-so on what the employees do or the day-to-day operations of the store. I'm technically the title on me is a project manager. But my position at the store, I'm doing 2 to 3 people's jobs as a one-man show. I've been doing it for the past 2 to 3 years, and every conversation me and my father have had regarding this issue is that his payroll is just too dang expensive, and that, if we had more work, then he could hire somebody on to help me out. So I kind of feel overworked in that aspect, but kind of going back to the small business that me and my wife have started, that revenue is we kind of got it out to the masses at the beginning of this year, and the revenue has only been about $40,000 this year. I think it's pretty good for, word to mouth.
What is the new business?
It's dealing with the marine industry, and the whole reason we got into it is because my father has the machine in his store to get started in it, or else we wouldn't be doing that.
And he's okay with you using it to do this?
He's okay with me using it, but
so what is the machine? What are you doing?
It's a CNC machine. We do custom, it's called an EVA foam. I don't know if you ever heard of like C-deck and stuff like that on, it's a marine decking, marine flooring. It takes away the hot heat of the floor anyways. So yeah, it's a CNC machine, and
so you're manufacturing a product.
Exactly. We're manufacturing.
You did $40,000 as your side gig. What's your profit on that?
Probably, I would say close to $30,000.
Is that before you paid yourself anything for doing all the work?
Exactly.
Are you doing that work during the time you're supposed to be working for him?
And that's kind of the thing. It's his business.
No, I'm asking your side hustle. Are you doing that during the time that he's paying you to work for him?
Yes, and he is allowing that.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what he kind of invested into it. He bought, a machine to do it. We already had that CNC, but there's a different machine that goes and measure the boats, and he invested into that machine, so he looks at all the profit coming in as his money. And I have no say-so on, where to move forward with that business.
Wait. I thought you had a side hustle.
Yes, that is my side hustle, but I'm using his machine to do the side hustle.
And he's taking the money.
Kind of.
Well, there's not a kinda. Who got the $40,000? You or him?
It's just sitting there.
Well, what's the agreement?
There is none. There is no written agreement.
Well, there's at least a discussion. Does he think it's his money and you think it's yours?
Well, I would like to invest it back into the business, but a conversation
back into the business means it's his.
Exactly, and he told me before it's his money.
So it's not a side hustle. It's his business.
Yes, I get, yes.
You expanded his business by taking his machine and adding $40,000 to the business in gross revenues that it creates a profit of $30,000. If it's his money and he's going to put it back into the business, this is part of running the business. Has nothing to do with a side hustle.
And I agree with that. We kind of look at it differently. It's set up as a completely different LLC. And me and my wife run the whole thing, and I do everything.
But it's his LLC. It's not yours.
Correct.
So it's not a side hustle. A side hustle is something you own.
I agree with that.
And you don't own this. Okay. All right. So you said, hey, Dad, I think you ought to expand into this area, and I'm, as one of your employees, going to go do this, and you've helped him grow his business. Okay, I'm with you. Now, what's the problem?
So the problem is that going back to, like I said, that was, I'm going to call it a side hustle, his business, the marine thing. Back to my main problem is my every day-to-day operation job. We're kind of in a contracting field. I'm technically an installer, where I'm going out doing installs. Like I said, it's a 2 to 3 man job, most of them, but I'm doing it all by myself. I show up on a construction site. The GC says, how in the world you're going to get it done? And I get it done because I was born and raised in this and just know how to do it in a timely manner. But the problem lies where I'm seeing the profit coming in from that. And kind of my wife's idea is if I was my own installer for this stuff, I could basically pay my whole month's expenses for my family in 1 day's of work. To whereas now, since I'm working for my father, it's salary-based pay.
So
I'm doing
how much are you making?
Right now, 65 plus bonus. And that bonus.
And your bonus ends up being what?
It's at the end of the year about 110, 115 on average. For the past, that's total.
You're 23 years old and you made $120,000, $115,000.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know I'm young and I got a lot of growth here, but I want better for my family. I'm not one to just sit back and like you say, I would rather go kill something, drag it home than just sit back on the sidelines, because discussions I've had with him is he's not retiring anytime soon. And there's no upward trajectory in that business. Like I said, I have no say-so on how the store performs, and that's part of my commission is based off of the percentages of the store for the month prior.
How many stores do you all have?
Just one.
Okay, so he's in the store also. And he's running the store, and basically
Correct.
He's sharing the profits of the company with you is what it amounts to.
Correct.
In order to have you operate and to do that, and you're functioning as a tradesman, physically installing the goods, correct?
Correct.
So a 23-year-old tradesman making $115,000 a year is not a good deal?
I think I could do better if I was on my own. But it would be competing interest. And that's another thing. Is it ethical for me to open up my own competing company within that same field when we're the only ones in an 80-mile radius that do what we do?
No.
I knew you were going to say that.
And the reason is what you're forgetting is you think you're only being paid for installing, or you think your company's only being paid for installing. Part of what your company's being paid for is your father's name and reputation and reliability that you had nothing to do with creating. You were running around in short pants while he was doing that.
That is true. I am third generation at the store. But a lot of two of our main.
Well, then your grandpa's reputation.
That is correct. And I understand.
So it's not as easy as you just walk out. If you move to another city with your tradesman expertise, I don't think you can duplicate this.
So two of our biggest clients right now, I'm actually the one that they came to first, and I built that reputation up for the company. I give them a call. I show up on time. I get the work done that I say I'm going to get done. And I'm the one doing it all, even though they found us through his name, which I completely understand. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of just wanted some guidance.
I appreciate it, John. I'm going to love you enough to tell you the truth. I don't think you're giving enough credit to your father and your grandfather and the operations of this business. You think you're all that more than you are. And you're an installer right now, and you're learning the trade from the old man that learned it from the old man. Give yourself a little time, hon. Let this stay in the oven and cook up a little more. I think the only way you can try to go on your own ethically is to go to another city and do this. If you want to do that, because you're all hot and bothered, go do it. But I think it's going to be a lot harder than you and your sweet wife think it is. I don't think you have any. I think there's about 30% of this whole thing that you think you're doing that you're not doing. I think you're doing about 70%, which is the actual work, and you built these two singular relationships because they walked in the door of a store that's third generation. And the kid standing there that's 23 took the order. So you're standing on the shoulders of giants and you don't know it. That's what I think. And I'm not being mean to you. If I were in your shoes, I'd want somebody to love me enough to tell me to have some patience, that this is harder than you think it is right now. And I think you go to your dad and say, all right, I've learned the install. I've learned a little bit about the customer relations. Now teach me about reputation. Teach me about grit. Teach me about the operations here and the details and making the payroll and the hires. Start to teach me how to run this business, because that'll help me with my patience level, because right now I'm just my feet are all hot and I don't want to, and I need to learn something more. But I think this is more than you think it is. That's my opinion. Might be wrong. Been wrong before. Probably be wrong again. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast.